Are you ready for SHTF? Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. That's what we're going to talk about today. Are you ready? If SHTF, and I'm thinking more of a big event, not a tiny little small event, not a localized event, more of a bigger event. Are you ready for it a month from now? A week from now? A day from now? Do you have plans in place for these situations? Do you have contingency plans? Do you have backup plans? Do you have tertiary plans? Which means primary plan, alternate plan, extra alternate plan. That's what tertiary is, like your third. Have you wargamed likely scenarios? Have you thought about, what if stuff happened tomorrow? What would I do? What if something happened a week from now, a month from now? Is your stuff organized? Is it ready to bug out if you had to? At least the stuff that you can bug out with, you have the capability of taking with you. Are you ready to bug in? Are you ready to set security? Do you know where you would set security? I know, that's the kind of stuff we talk about on Patreon. Links in the description below if you're interested. But I do a quick little mention here, because security is important. You got to be able to know when that golden horde starts coming out of the cities, unless you're in the city, then I hope you're bugging out. You got to know when they're coming. You got to have LPOPs, listening posts, observation posts, stuff like that. You got to have the security in place. But like I said, we talk about that on Patreon. What about bugging in? What do you do if you lose power? All the different things that can happen. What do you need to fill? What gaps do you have in your preps? Do you even know what your gaps are? Because do you have inventories? Do you know how much food you have? Do you know how much water you have? Do you know water sources around you? All these kind of things. It's very important to get a grip on your affairs. Having your stuff in order so that you're ready and able and the best equipped you possibly can be to deal with situations if they happen tomorrow. If SHTF happened tomorrow, what would I do? Other than setting security, not much other than what I do right now. Because that's what we do. It's a lifestyle. Prepping is a lifestyle. Yeah, it's just one of those things. So are you identifying weaknesses? Because that's preppers. Okay, that's one thing I got to talk about is we are proactive, not reactive, right? So you got to be proactive about identifying your weak areas. Are you weak in growing food, raising animals? Are you weak in water? Are you weak in food? Are you weak in defense and security? What are your weak areas? I don't know what your weak areas are. I know what my weak areas are. What about medical? What about being able to exist and thrive and survive without power in a grid down situation? There are so many events. I'm not going to sit here and name them all off. You know, or hopefully know, what your weak areas are. So what are you doing to mitigate your weak areas? Are you improving your weak areas? Do you even know what your weak areas are? So I talk about like prepper notebook type things. And prepper notebook doesn't just have, like, it's not like your food storage book. You have food storage in there, water, you have all the different things. Fire starting, shelter, all this stuff. Tools, security type stuff, all this stuff. All your extra, your etc., backup generators, backup power, whatever it may be, all these different things. And then you think about the most likely scenarios, which are probably collapse, shutdowns, lockdowns, whatever they may be. And you try to identify what will you need to live. That's why I've talked in the past before. A good exercise is for a week, 1 week, 7 days, write down in a little notebook, carry with you at all times. Notebook and pen. Write down every single item that you touch with your hands. You don't have to write down every single food item, because food is preps. I mean, that's your food storage. So you should have a grasp on that, hopefully. But write down every other item you touch. Do you touch a lighter? Do you touch shoelaces? Do you have extra shoelaces? Do you have extra boots? Do you have extra ball caps? Because you know that's important. Everything you touch are things that you use all the time. So then at the end of that week, look at all these items. Do you have extras of these items in your preps? I hope so, because these are the items that you need, because these are the items that you use on a regular basis. A lot of preps you can have and you can set aside, and you may not necessarily touch them every single month or every single year, but you have them because that's important to have, but you need to be able to know what it is exactly that you need and that you use on a regular basis. This is a good tool in helping you assess where your preps are, what direction you need to head. It's very important because we need to be ready to go tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now. We don't know when it's going to happen. I've had a ton of anxiety and what's the other word for it? Just this weight pulling down on me. Just like, we gotta go now. Get out of the cities, get out of the urban areas, get to rural areas, get to where you're going, increase your preps, bump up your preps, boom, 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 boom. I just have this nagging feeling. I'm getting torn, winched, dragged to where I need to be. I know I've talked about that recently, but man, it's this feeling. I've never had this feeling before, like this. This is so intense that we got to be ready. We got to be ready for tomorrow. We got to be ready for a week from now, a month from now, etc. And the best way to do that is to self-analyze. Get your stuff in order now. Identify weak areas and do your absolute best to plug those weak holes. Work on your strengths. Yes, I get it, but set that aside for now. Those are your strengths. Work on your weaknesses. Because we always have to be improving ourselves, and that's the best way to improve yourself is the weakness. Like, for example, I used to be into drag racing. A lot of people take car parts, and I call them magazine racers. They get these car parts from a magazine, and it says, oh, this one adds 10 horsepower, this one adds 5, this one adds 20. Okay, so I got 35 more horsepower, add that to the number the factory says, and that's how much horsepower I have. No, BS. It's not true. Because what if they are increasing, what if they are having the exhaust flow better, or they are doing something in another area of the car, but their weak area, their limiting factor is their intake. Okay, you're not increasing your preps if you're only concentrating on one area that is not your limiting factor, that is a factor over here. That car is not going to get the performance it needs unless you identify the weak areas, what the limiting factors are, the choke points, and freeing those up, allowing the horsepower to actually work. Same with preparedness. Identifying those areas is very important. So take some time, sit down with a notebook, write it down. If you have your prepper notebook, great, good job. Go over it, really think, really analyze. Have another set of eyes with you. Your group, your mag, your team, your tribe, your wife, your husband, your older children, whoever it may be, your friend, your neighbor. Go over stuff. Make sure it's people you trust, though, because they're going to see like all your preps. It's people that you're okay with knowing everything you have. And really take a hard look at what you have. Take a hard analytical look and figure out what your weak areas are. It's very important. Do this now. Times are easy now. It's easy to do it now. Even as busy as I am with the move and everything like that and doing all this other stuff, I am swamped. I am so swamped. But we got to do this. I do this all the time in my head as I'm going throughout the day. I'm one of those people that my mind is always going a mile a minute, 1,000 miles a minute. Sometimes it's why I can't sleep at night, because I can't get it to calm down. This is the most powerful tool in prepping, your mind. But at times you got to be able to calm that mind. I'm not so good at doing that sometimes. I'll driving down the road and seriously, I'll have like 5, 6, 7 thoughts in my mind at once racing. Which is good to do sometimes. Always be analyzing, always be identifying weaknesses, and head on a swivel at all times, identifying everything around you, looking for differences, looking for these changes that might be coming, that might be indicating when it's going to happen. Because the more advanced notice we have of when it is going to happen, the better off we'll be. The better we can run out and plug a couple extra holes at the last minute. The time we can, just stay put, bug in, set security, have everything ready. Say, okay, I'm good to go. This is coming down. We're good. That's good. Gather the tribe. Yeah, your mutual assistance group. Implement comm plans. Implement your SOPs, your standard operating procedures. All those kind of things. It's good to practice on a regular basis also. So make sure you're doing that. I can't tell you enough. I get this feeling, something, and a lot of other people are having this feeling too. My wife's had it for a little bit longer than I have. She's more in tune to that sort of thing. My oldest daughter's had that for a while because she's really in tune to that kind of thing. Maybe I'm a little less in tune. I'm more of the, caveman type. But shoo, I'm in tune now. So think about it. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please comment below. And please share the videos. It really helps with the algorithm. It really helps me. And go out and help all the other channels out there also. I love you guys and I care about you guys. I want to empower and uplift you guys and give you the thoughts and the tools and stuff like that to best prepare yourselves. Remember, prepping is living insurance. Have a wonderful day and blessings to you and yours.